Good day, Industrial Advisor listeners, and thank you for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please do so by clicking subscribe wherever you podcast. Click the like button and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we put up new content. Leave us a comment about anything we discuss here today or general comments about the show. Now, let's get into it.
Welcome to our Industrial Advisors podcast. You have Bill Condon and Matt McGregor. We have a 5-minute Friday today, and the topic's going to be the office market. We are not office experts, but we know enough to be dangerous. So
I did an office deal this quarter.
What's that?
I feel like an expert. I did an office deal this quarter.
Yeah. So did I, because you did one. So that means I did one.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is great. Love that deal. Yeah. Federal Way.
Tacoma.
Yeah. Almost got it right.
That's right.
So, it's interesting because we've actually done a fair amount of travel
Mm-hmm.
of late. And, I've been in San Francisco, I've been in Chicago. Obviously, we're here in downtown Seattle, LA. And it seems the consistent theme that I'm seeing is that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, people are back in the office. But there certainly seems to be kind of the remote work from home, Monday, Friday. Traffic's not nearly as bad on those days. So it seems like people are back, but it's 3 to 4 days a week.
I would agree with that. Certainly the traffic coming in downtown, if you don't come in early on the midweek, is congested, and I would say feels like it was pre-pandemic for sure.
Yep.
And then the office parking here in our building, I would even say on Mondays, feels very congested if you're not here early. So
Yes.
if we go, I come in early, but if I shoot down to the valley and I come back, you're
It's
looping
hard.
around
Yes.
trying to find parking. That's not the case on Fridays, for
Yep.
sure. So
Yep.
I would agree with you that the office market feels like the midweek's back.
Yeah. And, that the leasing market certainly is not nearly what it was in the office side, but there was just a big law firm that recently did a deal here. We hadn't seen a lot of tenant relocation, long-term commitments for a while. And so it's nice to see some of those deals starting to get done. It shows a little bit of confidence in the office market coming back.
What is the vacancy rate in Seattle?
I think when you include subleasing, it's probably 25, maybe a little bit higher.
Okay. And what was it at the peak of low vacancy?
Probably 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a bold prediction here.
Yeah.
I know that, when you and I were in San Francisco, we met with an office broker, a friend of yours.
Yeah.
He was talking about a building that traded for like $64 million that we could have bought for like $3 million, he said.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Right.
That it traded just like 3-4 years ago.
Yes.
Obviously a vacant building. I think that the office market is going to surge back way quicker than people feel, because I personally think it's proven that unless you're tech, which happened before the pandemic, that the work at home thing is not productive, not conducive to teams, can't build companies doing that, for the history of mankind, we've been in commerce and downtown areas and marketplaces, and that it's needed.
Yeah.
And that companies, as the employment rate goes up, are going to demand people come back.
It's already started to happen.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think it's going to come back quicker than most people think. And to your point on our building, it seems like our building's already
Our
all the way
building
back.
does.
And, there's more restaurants now that are opening.
Mhm.
I mean, when people weren't coming in, obviously that really impacted retail. So the return to the office is certainly having a positive impact on the retail sector as well, as people are starting to come back. So you're
right.
calling it the return to the office 2024 prediction.
I do. I
yeah.
think quarter by quarter it's going to slowly get better. And I think that now, I'm not obviously an office broker on the capital market side, but the numbers I was hearing in San Francisco, like Class A office buildings that were trading for $900 a foot, available at, $180, $200, somebody's going to make a lot of money grabbing some of these towers.
Yes.
Remember that Russell investment one?
Yeah.
You remember that deal?
I sure do. Yeah.
What were the numbers? Do you remember?
Well, I think it was,
That was here, by the way.
It was here
in the
Seattle.
downturn of 2008.
Yeah, it was like, it traded for, I want to say like $1.50 a foot or something, like $150 a square foot.
Yeah.
Maybe even lower. Maybe it was 135.
But then was worth $800 or $900 a foot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that thing skyrocketed. Now it got filled up and guys did a good job leasing that thing up, and then of course the value went up. That's a great building. But a lot of what's happened now is, some of the lenders, some of these buildings are going back to lenders, right? And in some of the, like New York and San Francisco, here, Chicago, so we'll see how that all plays out. But I agree that people are going to be showing up to the office more next year, and it's already starting to happen.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned the restaurant thing. I mean, they need it. There's restaurants that are barely surviving. There's that Juicy Cafe I go to a lot.
Yeah.
I think, I think they're still struggling. They actually said because there's been so much turnover in this building, which feeds them, they're in the convention center,
Yeah.
that they said nobody knows about them because they're all new employees
right.
since the pandemic.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting. But we lost, I remember reading in the Seattle Times maybe a year ago that it was like 230 businesses downtown. And I don't know how much of that was restaurants, but it was probably a bulk of it.
Yeah. So, but new restaurants have opened, which is great. So
that's right.
There you have it. There's our 5-Minute Friday on the office market.
Thank you very much.